Hello, my fellow sinners. Today in Anti-Apologetics, we look at the weak apologetic counter. But I'm not a Protestant. Ever encounter this scenario? You engage in a dialogue with someone who identifies as a Christian. They express their rejection of Catholicism due to perceiving it as legalistic and ritualistic. You mentally prepare to present your talking points. You begin speaking by trying to find common ground that both Catholics and Protestants agree on, but then they reject a fundamental Protestant doctrine or take an opposing stance on a key Christian moral ethic. You, a little thrown off, ask, which specific Protestant denomination do you belong to? Only to hear them respond with, but I'm not a Protestant. I know, right? So let's get into this. In discussions involving other forms of Christianity, there exists a tendency within Catholic and Orthodox apologetics to use a simplification that, while convenient, isn't entirely accurate. Apologists often label everything that isn't Catholic or Orthodox as Protestant, while there are valid cases where we rightfully classify certain heretical denominations that have stemmed from Protestantism, such as Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses, Unitarian Universalist, and Oneness Pentecostals, as non-Christian. We risk appearing uninformed about ongoing developments within the broader Christian community when we assume that traditional Protestant arguments apply to other neo-Christian types and kinds. I want to explore the distinctions among 7 emerging non-Protestant categories: unaffiliated, non-denominational free churches, non-Protestant progressive Christianity, non-Protestant anti-Catholic Christians, Bible-only adherents, Jesus-only adherents, Jesus not religion proponents, and Neo-Protestantism. If you align with any of these groups or identify with these distinctions, I invite you to engage with me on this channel to share your perspective. Please reach out if the following discussion resonates with you. Unaffiliated, non-denominational, open attendance free churches. This category encompasses independent Christian congregations that lack affiliation with any specific Christian denomination. They emphasize minimal formal structure, granting greater autonomy in their beliefs and practices. Open attendance indicates that individuals of any background or belief system are welcome to attend these services held in these type of churches. And a free church denotes independence from external oversight, signifying freedom from larger organizations or parent churches. Non-Protestant progressive Christianity. This category often draws the most criticism from conventional and traditional Protestants. It comprises Christians who have undergone a process of deconstruction in their faith journey. Deconstructed Christians represent a subset of heterodox beliefs and practices that diverge from traditional Protestantism, while progressive Christianity in general seeks to reinterpret and modernize Christian teachings within a Protestant framework. Some individuals reject their Protestant roots entirely, embracing the freedom to incorporate other religious and even non-religious influences into their belief system. Non-Protestant anti-Catholic. These so-called Christians reject both Protestantism and Catholicism. They hold beliefs critical of key developments within Christianity as a whole, rejecting creeds, conventions, and constitutions. They oppose the teachings and practices of the Catholic Church, yet they do not align themselves with any mainstream Protestant denominations. Their disdain extends equally to figures like Luther and Calvin, as well as whoever the Pope happens to be. Bible-onlyist, or Bible not religion. This group places the Bible as the sole authority for their faith and practices, often excluding formal religious institutions. They reject traditional religious rituals and creeds in favor of a strict interpretation of the Bible's teachings in an ultra-literalist sense, sometimes even interpreting parables as literal history and actual events which occurred. Jesus onlyist, or Jesus, not the Bible. In contrast to the previous category, Jesus, not the Bible adherents prioritize a personal relationship with Jesus Christ over strict biblical literalism. They may view the Bible as a valuable guide to understanding Jesus, but emphasize a direct connection with Jesus, while often disregarding the Old Testament, except for Genesis, which they defend passionately. They reject the law, believing that Jesus freed humanity from it, and often express distrust towards figures like Paul and even the Roman Emperor Constantine. Jesus, not religion, adopting a Gnostic approach to knowledge and understanding. This group displays a willingness to accept extra-biblical or non-canonical books as scripture. They emphasize a personal relationship with Jesus Christ over formal religious rituals and institutionalized practices. Their belief centers on following the teachings of Jesus, particularly the red letter parts of the Bible, while straying from religious traditions and orthodox doctrines. Traditional apologists have often labeled this group's vision of Jesus as a counterfeit. Neo-Protestantism. This last category is rather tricky. While Neo-Protestants perceive themselves as evolving from Protestantism, and may even consider themselves true Protestants, as they are constantly reforming. Classical Protestants dismiss them as modern-day heretics. Neo-Protestants challenge historical Protestantism on various fronts. They reject the Protestant work ethic, feel uneasy about the Anglo-Saxon origins of Protestantism, criticize the heteronormativity within historical Protestantism, and decry patriarchal male dominance in the classic Protestant tradition. Neo-Protestantism denotes a movement aiming to modernize and update Protestantism in response to contemporary scientific and social theories. They seek to align their interpretation of the Bible with modern secular academia's findings on sacred text. These movements aim to adapt traditional Protestant beliefs and practices to address contemporary understandings of translation, homosexuality, and evolution. Neo-Protestants emphasize social justice and engagement with modern culture as the proper expression of Protestant principles. So, how did I do? Did these descriptions accurately represent the general beliefs of each of these divergent Christian groups? If you belong to any of these individual groups and would like to expand on what I said or correct a misunderstanding of your position on my part, please reach out. I would love to speak to you on this channel. I am eager to engage in further dialogue on this topic. Peace.